And we are officially live. Hello, all my BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of the Dual Dynasty, your weekly WWE review show here at BC WrestlePod. I am El Jefe Mikey, and of course, joining me this week is the lovely Professor, who is currently not on fire in Northern California, but we'll see.
It's a matter of time. We've had the warnings, but everything's okay right now.
So far. And of course, coming back from, being 2 weeks off is Minnie, who currently is also on fire in Arizona.
Man, we fucking melting out this house.
Did you say it was 117 out there?
160, 117 degrees on Thursday.
How does that?
It's like we're on the fucking sun, dude.
Damn.
I know it's summer, but damn, it shouldn't be this hot.
Because it got 100. It was 110 by Mikey. It's been in the hundreds. Luckily, I'm in the foothills, so it's never that. It's not teens, but man, that's crazy. SmackDown was so good. We're starting with the weather, by the way.
You know, I don't.
Well,
even
okay,
that's how this week's been.
Let's be all the way 100. So, for those of us that were here this past Monday when we reviewed SummerSlam, we talked about, the elephant in the room, so to speak. And then also I made a video about it that was uploaded later in the week. So we don't have
If you haven't seen it, it's really good. Mikey's quite articulate, breaking down all the things. It's very good.
I try. But yeah, I'm not even going to lie, because they expected us to watch Monday Night Raw as normally as we do. Still watched it. But I was barely 24 hours removed from what happened the night before. So I was like, it kind of skewed my view on Raw a little bit. So I had to go back and watch to see if my feelings changed about certain things. And some of it did. Some of it remained the same. And SmackDown, while I did like some stuff, I don't know what's going on. Like, Raw and SmackDown are kind of struggling right now. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be the struggle bus to get us to Clash to Paris.
I have a theory, and we'll talk about this as we go forward, but it seems like whenever they made the choice to immediately turn Cena back, I called this a little while ago, not to be presumptuous or anything. They were going to turn Cena face at some point. We didn't know when. For some reason, they pulled the ripcord now, and they could have given it a little bit more legs. Now, even John Cena's making it come off like, hey, they made a mistake. I just went along with it. Okay, thanks, bye. And he's gonna come out looking like they tried to play him. I liked the heel Cena, which we talked about, but now it's we've had a week to digest it, and folks are going, oh yeah, they messed up. And Cena's like, I told them, but it's very gray and kind of awkward to me now, but we'll see.
It definitely is. So we're just gonna get through this. So of course, keeping the housekeeping short. You can subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on Twitch or Kick, whatever your preferred platform is. Between those three, if you cannot commit to a full-length live stream or edited reviews of the reviews that we do, and as well as all the other good stuff we have here, you can still interact with us on the social medias, where you can tell us about our report cards that we post for everything, and let us know why we're right or wrong, or where you are confused about certain things. We also have some merchandise available, link in the chats of everywhere that this is currently streaming to. Make sure to pick up something nice for you, because we got review merch for all of our teams. We have our summer collection, which will be disappearing at the end of this month to make room for our fall collection. Get your pumpkin spice lattes right in,
Queens.
I'm so working on this design, and we are going to capitalize on pumpkin spice latte, but make it luchador.
Pumpkin spice, dude, grand.
So that's
latte match. That'd be amazing.
That would be so fun. But we also have our 24/7 Pride merch that will not disappear until next Pride, when I come up with a different design. And we have our anti-fascism, anti-BS of everything collection, and the Pride and the anti-BS collection. Parts of the proceeds will be donated to charity. Both charities that we are looking at is Point of Pride and the California Youth Immigration Justice Fund as well. So please make sure to research those, and because those are important, especially in these trying times. But with that out of the way, let's just jump into everything for WWE. We're going to start with Monday Night Raw, which again I had to watch twice because it was a fever dream, because I was still barely 24 hours removed from Brock Lesnar returning at SummerSlam the night before. So I'm not gonna lie, when I was doing slides, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that Seth Rollins is world champion, because that moment kind of got thrown out the window.
Don't fuck.
If the rumors are true and LA Knight is now in the thick of this, that makes me happy. Is the rumors true?
Well, so apparently there is reports that there might be a triple threat at Clash in Paris with these three, which would be which we'll get into with the third person entering the chat during the main event, causing the DQ. Happy to see LA Knight back on my screen because he didn't get to do anything at SummerSlam, which was devastating to watch. Not even backstage commercials, which was weird. However, once again, I don't know what more LA Knight can do to warrant him getting a chance as a main title championship run, because he's always playing support character in somebody else's story, and in this case he is playing secondary to probably what's going to end up being Seth versus Punk at Survivor Series or something like that. I don't know,
but at least he's in the conversation.
Yes, which I'm okay with for now.
Yeah, and it took him. I see why it took this long. It's unfortunate. It shouldn't have. But we talked about this a little bit a week or two ago, where there were so many things that they had to tie up or get out of the way. Yeah, he got washed up in the wave of that stuff, and that's a shame. But the fact that he's kind of in here now like this, it makes me happy. I don't know what they're gonna do, but you do have this Paul Heyman LA Knight thing that was almost there. What was that, about a year ago, where they were talking to each other and they kind of were poking and there were words exchanged thing. So you kind of have that to lean on. I know that's a little bit of deep lore. WWE doesn't like the deep lore stuff anymore. But
what do you mean? They just dropped a whole behind the scenes documentary.
Wait, what?
Did you not see the whole documentary they just dropped?
WWE Unreal.
No.
So,
but I heard Unreal is actually very real. Like, it's still scripted in kayfabe and everything else, isn't it?
I mean, it shows us more behind the scenes footage, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, this is stuff we kind of already knew, to be honest.
All right, I'll look at it.
So we'll see. But we also have an official name for this group, which is, it's condensed to what I originally was calling them, which was the Visionary. But now it's just the Vision. So I was like, at least we got a name for this group now. So I still prefer Visionary. But hey, you know what? Also, I want that jacket from Seth Rollins. I need him and Becky to let me raid their closet, because I will take everything that I can.
Someday, if there's ever a WWE museum, half of it's going to be Seth Rollins' clothes.
What I need for this company to do is similar to, and it's crazy to say comparison, but follow me on this. I need them to do what RuPaul's Drag Race does, where they go into the homes of these contestants / wrestlers and just walk through their crazy outfit closet. I was like, where do they put all of their ring gear and things like that? And then Becky and Seth will be the penultimate episode, be like, welcome to our closet of ridiculous clothes.
Did you ever?
The crazy thing is Seth the person. I think it's Tyler is his actual name. I don't remember.
It is. So LA Knight confronts Seth. He wants a title shot. Seth says no. Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce says otherwise, and we could get this match made later for the main event, which will be Seth versus LA Knight for the World Heavyweight Championship and the main event of Monday Night Raw. So from this moment, though, we get into a backstage segment where Dominic Mysterio now has to keep his head on a swivel, because now he got the LWO, specifically Dragon Lee, coming for that Intercontinental Championship. And AJ is also looking to still continue to feud with Dominic. And I'm like, yes. So also, I didn't include a picture here, but the Judgment Day as a whole is going to be very busy this upcoming week, because pretty much all of Judgment Day is going to have some part in Triple Mania happening next week. Which
by the way, sold out so fast because of Dominic Mysterio.
Not gonna lie. But this will also be streaming on YouTube on August 16th. So I will be probably watching it. I might do a report card, but we won't be covering it unless something crazy happens. And then we'll report it during our WWE review the following, Sunday. But head on a swivel, Dominic and AJ continuing to feud would be amazing still, because they carried leading into SummerSlam. Not even gonna lie, because the comedy bits were hilarious. And I want more of those. Also, Dragon Lee back on my screen, please. So moving on. I called this. I knew we weren't going to get a clean finish because they're 1-1. So something tells me we are going to go to Clash in Paris, and this is going to be nuts. Or we get a best of 7 series a la Carmelo and Andrade. So we get Sheamus versus Rusev. These two go at it, and then we get a double count out. So wow. I was just like, we couldn't just have a definitive winner or whatever.
There's a few news outlets kind of talking about this. There's this weird phenomenon now of non-finishes. Nobody wants to lose. And it's AEW and other promotions are doing a little bit better. Everyone in WWE, nobody wants to lose. There's this weird pride thing that's going through everybody. Nobody wants to take the pin. Nobody wants to lift it up. And that kind of kills all your storylines, because then you don't have anywhere to go.
I mean, I get it, we want to set up for something, then I'm like, then why have them do this third match if they're tied 1-1 now? Well, now this brings them to 2-2. So I was just like, how you going to build this to clash if that's where this is going?
This is a microcosm of all these other matches and things that are going on in WWE land, right? Unless it's a PLE, nobody's taking pins. And it's like, it's getting kind of goofy. It's sort of silly now where it's like, we're going to find a way to not finish this match. Like, what are we doing?
And it's not just even a WWE thing. Like, I will give AEW some credit. We really haven't had that happen too much, but leading into Y'all in Texas, oof, we had a couple matches where they would end in DQs or...
Yeah, you're not wrong. There's a few weeks in a row where it's like, all right, fine. Since the beginning of the year, we're in August, 8 months of just no finishes. What is happening?
Well, we got 2 in this episode, which we're going to talk about because we got number 1 here, and then our main event was the second offender. Well, also, I feel like distraction should also be counted, and we'll talk about that when we get there because I was
Absolutely.
like, what is happening? But double count out, probably Clash in Paris match. Cool. I need this hat, Xavier. Where can I get this hat? Like,
It was so excessive. I saw somebody that says if people don't mourn my death like how the New Day mourned the loss of their tag titles, I don't want it.
Seriously. I want at my funeral, I need everybody to be this avant-garde and extravagant and over the top. That's how I want it.
Have you followed the hat storyline on the internet? Have either of you caught this?
I don't think I have.
So it was posted. He wore the hat in the ring, right? And then I'm not taking any of your thunder. We'll talk about it. And then Penta wears the hat in the ring. But they were doing moves from an old Tekken character, Yoshimitsu, and the creator.
I saw this. Yes, the creator.
Someone tagged the creator, and the creator losing his mind. He's got to be in his 50s, like God. And of course, they're all nerds, so they're doing all the ring and just subtly to see if anyone catches it. And this guy, who hopefully he's still programming and working on things, hasn't thought of in forever. Sees the character, sees Austin wearing Yoshimitsu's hat, and now he has followers, and WWE fans are all over him. Like, that's kind of a cool moment to see your creation come back.
It is, and because the New Day are big video game nerds in general, like they know what they're doing. Also, I'm not saying that Penta needs to wear a gigantic hat every single week, but like for big pay-per-views, I would love him to come out. You know what? Here's what I would like to do. I don't know what's happening, and we're small, so I don't know if this is going to reach, but I feel like we should, if possible, reach out to the creator of Tekken and get Penta and some costume makers together so he can have a Yoshimitsu-inspired like ring gear and things like that.
Amazing.
For like a big pay-per-view. No, but yeah. But I'm with Minnie here. If people don't show up to my funeral this over the top in their, grieving gear, I don't want it.
It better not be a somber party. People better dress up and it better look like Carnival.
It's really good. And of course, Kofi over here with the whole shawl and sunglasses looking like someone's auntie, which is great. And even Grayson Waller with the all black lace. This is ridiculous. I just want New Day and Grayson Waller to become a heel fashion house. Make them New Day / WWE's version of MXM Collection, where they just come out in ridiculous outfits every single week, which would be amazing. But all this is to set up a match between Penta and Grayson Waller later in the evening. So this was fun. I loved it. Speaking of which, we get to said match where we get Penta beating Grayson Waller. The clip that has gone viral this week with Penta putting on the giant hat and doing the Penta walk, looking like Yoshimitsu from Tekken. This was a part of Raw I actually really enjoyed. I was like, this is nonsense, but this is my kind of nonsense. And I loved it.
Did Grayson Waller join the New Day?
Apparently. We didn't get official confirmation, but he's here because Austin Theory is injured, and we come to learn from a backstage segment that they broke up as a tag team instead of pulling the trigger on television. But what?
And they never, I was going to say that. They didn't talk about it. They didn't do anything. They just went, boom, did it off camera, and now they're not together. I don't know, man. I don't know.
We just work here.
We really do, honestly. So, moving on from this match, though, Rusev and Sheamus continue to fight backstage, and they will continue to fight as the whole entire show goes on. And Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair look at this and it's like, okay, let's just keep going. And
the image to me is funny. It's here's the two big guys fighting, and then they should just walk past it like it was just nothing.
Alexa and Charlotte are used to it. It's like somebody's fighting backstage every day. Like, what else is at this point? So we then get to Charlotte and Alexa, where we get a little bit of an in-ring promo segment from these two. Again, because we all forget, and I forgot, that these tag team titles go across both Raw and SmackDown brands and possibly NXT. So they're supposed to be defended in all three brands. So I will be honest, this is the least favorite of the two segments that we got with our tag team champs, because once again, Charlotte has seemingly gone over as babyface with Alexa and kind of leaning face. Charlotte kind of regressed a little bit to heel Charlotte, but it wasn't too much where I was like, I don't know what we're doing. But we get a bit of a celebration with these two in the ring. The Judgment Day girls come out, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Setting up for a tag team, rematch down the line at a pay-per-view. Nope, we're doing it tonight, folks, because apparently we can't give a rematch at Clash in Paris or whatever. So we then get an impromptu match. This is for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. We're not friends. Walk out victorious. It was a good match, though. I'm not gonna lie. I had a great time watching it, but I kind of wish that we could have padded out a rematch. But hey, you know what? I don't work for the company, so
Yeah,
I don't want. I'm glad they're defending them. I'm glad. I mean, in a week's time, like they got action on Raw and SmackDown. I think that's great. I wonder where we're going, but it's fine.
Yeah. So the Judgment Day girls, unless they win a number one contenders match, are officially out of chances to face We're Not Friends. So also, I feel like this was a smart way, especially if all of Judgment Day will be heading to Triple Mania next week anyway. So should be fun. The never ending story. So Rhea and Io are backstage. Io, which rightfully so, getting a rematch against Naomi next week on Raw, because she technically was not pinned at SummerSlam, so therefore she is going to get a rematch. And so Rhea's like, I hope you win, Io, so I can take it off of you afterwards. So I was like, these two are now entering the fight forever territory, and I'm okay with it if I'm being completely honest.
If anybody can fight forever to be these two, and I'll be all right with it.
Yes. It's like, put on bangers. They've already, since WrestleMania, their chemistry is unmatched and undeniable. Shoot, even before that, Black and Gold NXT too. These two had great chemistry there and main roster. So I'm okay with fighting forever. The only wrench in the plan is seeing how we're going to take Naomi and where this championship run for her goes with all of this. But we'll talk about her, because Naomi, before we get a rematch with Io next week, and Rhea and Io probably hanging around for who knows how long in the title scene, Naomi has to get through a certain La Primera first, which we're going to talk about them in a little bit. I'm going to mention this here. The fact that Naomi's amazing promo was during the commercial on Netflix, and then when you go back to watch the replay, it wasn't there, is tragedy. Shame on Netflix and everybody else for putting Naomi's promo on a commercial break.
Yeah.
She is your women's champion on Raw. What you mean? So will Io win next week? Probably not. Shenanigans, most likely, but we'll have to wait until tomorrow to see how it all goes down. There are 4. Well, I mean, we have too many Grande Americanos. We have Grande Americano Tres and Grande Americano de Cuatro now. And I was just like, so this is what we're doing with New Catch Republic. We're making them be Grande Americanos.
Well, yeah,
All
Grande
right.
Americano East, Grande Americano West.
Yeah, I heard about this vaguely. Or is everyone just dressed as Grande Americano now? Is that what's happening?
I don't know. I gave up on Raw's tag team division. Like, SummerSlam was full of, things that we kind of was some fun stuff. The Lesnar return soured on it, but one thing that has stayed consistent despite all that is that SmackDown tag team division reigns supreme, and now this made it official.
What I mean to do, I'm not a fan of the draft. I hate the draft. I don't like the draft. I see them shaking up the tag divisions with the draft, just because, in my opinion, I love New Day. I love what New Day's doing. They should be over on SmackDown fighting with everybody else. I think I would hate to see anyone from SmackDown go over to Raw, because I'm biased. I watch more SmackDown. I think Motor City Machine Guns and DIY over on Raw would kill it.
Right.
They would have something to do over there.
I was thinking the same thing. I feel like because we have such a great division on SmackDown, Raw kind of needs it right now. I also agree, because when I was thinking about this, I was like, I actually would send DIY and Motor City over to Raw. Honestly,
it would make me sad, like I said, because I want to watch them every week. But I think with everything that happened over SummerSlam, you send them over there now, you could do some more interesting stuff. I don't know what they're going to do.
Man, you send those two, we will be watching them every week, because who else are they going to face on Raw?
Exactly.
They're going to face El Grande Americano times like Quattro. Like, that's all they're going to be facing. So that will be their tag division, which, you know what? It's better than what we're getting by leaps and bounds.
And SmackDown's running into the opposite problem, right? Where it's sort of like, you're going to fight them, and they're going to fight you, and then you're going to fight them because they fought you.
They have an overabundance of good tag teams.
Yeah.
But they make it make sense. So yeah, evening out the tag team, because let's look at it right now. So Raw right now, officially, you have the Judgment Day as champs, New Day, LWO, and the Creeds, American, which are / American made, and then I thought the War Raiders were out on injury. Come to find out, oh no, they're just not being utilized on television properly because I saw them in Bloodsport and they kicked ass, which was crazy. So you have 5 teams here, and you mean to tell me we can't do any tag team storylines going into this? Like Judgment Day is just running around holding things. I was just like, Scribe Daddy Adam Pearce, you need to get it together. And if we're gonna send, like, for instance, if we're gonna take 2, I was like, sending 2 Raw teams to use more frequently, sure. But yeah, Raw's tag team division, I don't know what's going on, is lacking or not being utilized properly. Judgment Day is just out here sitting pretty. I was just like, what the hell is happening, y'all?
Yeah.
So
it's weird.
It really is. But we're going to move on to this because we talk about this real quick. Sami Zayn gets interviewed briefly about his match with Karrion Kross at SummerSlam, and then he gets smacked in the face for his troubles as Rusev and Sheamus continue to brawl and shot. So that's how that went. Also, I'm tired of WWE trying to make a viral moment, and I'm not going to give them the satisfaction because Scarlett and Karrion have officially moved to the, legend page of the roster. So,
which is shady, yeah.
So I was just like, I'm not going to hold my breath until I see Karrion or Scarlett say something officially. But I'm like, WWE, I'm not giving you the satisfaction of working me again, even though we all knew that Seth Rollins was cashing that in most likely.
They did it too many times in a row. Right? They had R-Truth, they had Seth. There's
We're going to get to Truth on SmackDown because that made me mad.
There's a few things here where it was like, you tried to bait and switch us too many times in a row. Now with Karrion, I don't believe it. In fact, if does a disservice to him and Scarlett, but we'll talk about it.
Right. So
and the Paul Heyman interview about Karrion Kross and Scarlett on Ariel Helwani's show, which
and of course
Ariel asks tough questions. Even he kind of dodged it. It was kind of, I don't know.
Heyman, I love you, but I was just like, I know you're only doing it, but I was just like, yeah, some of the way you answer that question sounded like, okay, but it is what it is. So, okay, so I got 2 minds. So Becky Lynch comes out, and this is where we get to the promo off between her and Nikki Bella, right? So I am of 2 minds of this, and I have 2 opinions, and there's a duality that both things.
Speaking of viral moments.
Well, here's the thing, though. So 2 things can be simultaneously true at the same time, as we've talked about during our SummerSlam review this past Monday. So number 1, I actually really like this back and forth between Becky and Nikki Bella. This was, especially from Becky, this is giving me shades of the man character of what made Becky over with people, just calling it out as it is and things like that, taking the dig is something that we, come to do and love, which we're cool with. On the other hand, and I kind of thought about this a little bit, and I have to agree with former WWE star Baron Corbin, also known as Bishop Dyer now. I love Becky when she goes in, but if you're going to build this feud, you kind of buried your baby face a tiny bit. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm excited for this, but we'll see what happens.
I'm not sure how they wanted this to play out. I saw clips of this because the internet was all over this. Oh, Mikey, you're buffering. You disappeared. Oh, no. All of Dual Dynasty went down. We're still live, though. The whole comment. Did you see this, Minnie? The whole comment about husbands and all that other stuff that was going on? Yeah. I thought that was tough. And I don't know. I mean, I would like to think that Bella knew that was coming, but the crowd was all about that. It's an interesting moment. And I get the criticism. I see what they're saying. It does kind of bury your face like, hey, Mikey, you're back. Yeah, I don't know what they wanted out of this, but they got a moment out of it. People are talking about it.
Yeah. I don't think Hunter liked me talking about that. So he nuked my internet for a little bit. But I'm back. So
Tony Khan controls the lightning. Triple H controls the internet.
Something always happens. But yeah, I think this feud could work, but you buried Nikki Bella. So it's just like, okay. So, but still. I actually enjoyed this moment. One of the brighter spots. Moving on. I don't care what no one says. I'm excited for this match at Clash in Paris. It's one of the few matches that we're getting that I'm actually excited for because I care about this. Naomi is being interviewed by Byron Saxton, and Stephanie Vaquer enters frames like, girl, be ready because you're in for a fight for your life in Paris. And I'm like, exactly. But I'm excited for this match. This is probably one of the only official matches announced that I'm excited for because we get another one made on SmackDown. And I was like, okay. Also, Naomi, I need you to teach me how to make a coat with caution tape because that would be fire. Not even going for it.
Pretty sick.
So we are getting this match at Petty, so should be a lot of fun. Becky is just fighting with everybody because she's gonna have a match next week, and Natalya wants a match with her, but instead she wants to challenge Maxine. And I was like, this is going to go one of two ways. And I'm kind of not happy with either option. A, Becky squashes Maxine, which is like, Maxine just can't catch a break. Like, I know she's not up there, and she probably will never be like, she will never get a championship in this company because of, you know, she's just utilized as backstage stuff and comedy stuff. However, what also makes me mad is the fact that there is a possibility that Maxine wins next week, but it's due to Nikki Bella interference shenanigans, which, you know, I was like, I also hate for everybody involved. Also, WWE, did Natalya do something to make you upset? Because why is it that I love me some Natty Neidhart wherever she goes in the independents? Like, she kicked ass against Masha at Bloodsport, but you cannot give her the same energy here in WWE. Did she do something wrong? Like, what happened? What's tea, sis?
They're just using her differently for some reason, and it's confusing. I don't know. We've talked about her in the past a few times. Like, why? What are we trying to do? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do? And now that she's been doing indies and folks have seen it, they're like, oh yeah, she's capable of a lot of things. There were folks, I think when I first started here at BC Wrestle Pod, we were talking about, is she done? Is she this? Is she that? Is she injured? What are they doing with her? And now it's like, oh no, she's as good as she ever was. We're just not using her. It's like, what?
It's weird, but it's Becky and Maxine next week. So I was like, okay.
What's a random pairing?
Yeah, I knew we weren't going to get a clean finish. I don't know why I was mad that we did not. I was like, we're not going to get a clean finish. And I was still mad that we didn't. So main event time, LA Knight versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Prior to the CM Punk run-in causing the match to get thrown out, I actually was really enjoying the match. I was like, yes, this is what we were, you know, this was, you know, on par to be pretty decent and really good. And then CM Punk running from the crowd, that was wild. But oh no, that was not enough, because then Roman Reigns comes in. This was an overbooked ending for Raw this week. So CM Punk attacks Seth, causes the DQ. LA Knight is mad at Punk. We might be getting a triple threat. Roman comes out because he still got beef with Seth and everything. And because Roman and Jay beat the Brawns at SummerSlam, Roman comes out. And then I was like, the numbers game is too much because Roman gets beat the F up, which, you know, write him off because he's going to go film some stuff. So we were not go see him until Survivor Series, or at least, you know, later in the month. People are like, why did Jay not come out? And I was like, you know what? That is a fair question. Why did Jay not come out to help save anybody? Like, where was Jay Uso?
Because they needed to write off Roman so he can go be a Kuma.
This was an overbooked mess. This was, it was annoyed. I was just like, I mean, cool angle to write off Roman, but I was just like, I feel like we do this all the time. Like, Roman's back, write him off for a while, then he comes back before Big. I was just like, okay, we know what this is, so I'm not going to get as mad, but this was overbooked as all hell.
I was going to say, we know what it is. We know it's about leukemia and body and stress and film and money and what he's doing and how he's taking care of it. And I get it. I understand. It's incredible that Roman seems to be, every time he shows up, he has that everyone's here, like, everyone's all about him, you know, even though he's polarizing as a wrestler. We could talk about that another time. I don't know. It seems like WWE is going to run the risk of having these wrestlers have other careers outside of wrestling. So wrestling isn't their thing. And it's going to start to dilute and mess with everything around them, because they're not going to say no anymore, because it does make them look better. Cody and Roman and everyone going to do Street Fighter and other things. But this is what you're going to run into. And it makes me sad that SAG-AFTRA doesn't support them or take care of them. And that's another rabbit hole, and I will leave that at that.
Yeah. So this ends Monday Night Raw. So now we are in the land of Smack. So let's just get into it. We kick things off with happy-go-lucky face Cena once again. So Cena cuts a promo, which divulges into a whole, like, this was like 3 whole segments combined into one. So John Cena comes out. We get a promo from Cena. He talks about how, you know, the fans, he's here for the fans. He's got 11 dates left. And so he's going to make the most of it. They're going to have their time at some point. But, you know, with 11 dates left, Cena wants to make good use of them. So he wants to fight as many people as he can in the locker room. And this is answered by Logan Paul. I'm like, Logan, get in the back. We didn't mean you. So
right.
Logan and Cena go back and forth a little bit. Cena challenges Logan for a match. We get a challenge for at Clash in Paris. And then Drew McIntyre comes in to, you know, surprise attack Cena. Logan and Drew attack Cena. Cody Rhodes comes out for the save. Then it becomes a 2-on-2 brawl. Logan and Drew on the outside near the ramp, Cody and Cena in the middle. Cena gets on the mic, challenges them to a tag team match. Nick Aldis makes it official. So in our main event for tonight is going to be Cody and Cena versus Drew and Logan. This is like 3 segments combined into one.
Yeah, it was the first 34 minutes of SmackDown. Cena's always going to be good on the mic. It does bother me that we straight up are ignoring everything that's happened for the last 6 months, which is the theme of SmackDown. We don't mention the Beast, the fact that the Brock showed up.
Just the fact that Cena kind of took pop shots possibly at this too.
A little bit, yeah. And just was like, we're just not going to talk about it. We're going to jump right into this thing. Like, what? I'm a little confused about the 11 dates, 11 more times thing. There's like 20 more Fridays left in 2025, right? If not more.
Right. And then
there's 2 or 3 more. What do you mean you have 11 dates left?
So I'm like, I know you're going to Clash in Paris. So that is at the end of August, Cena. So that's one thing. We know you're probably going to be in some capacity at Survivor Series in November.
So the remaining of the big 4. So you'll be at Survivor Series. I think it's the last big 4 pay-per-view of the year.
Yep. And then December is his final match in some capacity.
So there's 2 months in there where he's gone for the movie, I guess. But I don't know. It was sort of like, what do you mean there's only 11 days left? I thought this was fine. Logan Paul's going to get cheap heat no matter what now. That's kind of why he's there. Fine. Again, we ignored the fact that they were tag team partners twice. We just completely wiped the slate of everything we worked on for 6 months. It's just so odd. And for me, this made the rest of SmackDown not hard to watch, but sort of this isn't a hard reset. What are we doing? We're just ignoring all the stuff that we've built this long. They really do think we're stupid and we're not paying attention. It's just my impression. Nope. And Cena said as much.
Nope. It's like, so again, outside of Naomi and Stephanie, we are getting Cena and Logan. I was like, okay. Motor City Machine Guns are interviewed backstage by Kathy Kelly. They're still battered and bruised from the TLC match, as every SmackDown tag team, rightfully so, is banged up because that match was insane. And we have to remember that we're only days removed from that match, which is crazy of how fast wrestling moves. But they are taking off the MFTs tonight, and so they're going to, they're banged up, but they're going to give it their all, and they're going to win this match. Spoiler alert: they do not. So Motor City Machine Guns. Like, this goes back to what we said during the Raw portion of the review. Send to inject that Raw tag team division with some stuff, and I feel like Motor City Machine Guns can do awesome things in Raw and not put over MFT here on SmackDown, but it is what it is. Especially, we got a lot of SmackDown tag teams right now in this tag team division, so we got to even the odds. Again, SmackDown is 2 hours, so we got to combine like 3 segments into one, because after the match, we get a promo from Solo Sikoa. He's talking about how he's gonna the greatest United States champion right now, and that the MFTs are going to become tag team champs, and they're going to be awesome. Because I was like, Sammy, like, we're just having you out here because we don't know what to do with you yet. I'm going to be so for real. Like,
he needs a change up in character.
For reals. Like, even when he was heel and like bloodline Sami Zayn, he was still happy-go-lucky Sami Zayn. They had the chance to do it with Karrion, and they didn't. And now this just comes off boring. It wasn't even for the title. It was just because it's Montreal. It's just because he's the face of the home crowd, and now he's stuck. They should have pulled the trigger on that, and I don't know why they didn't. And I'm just sitting here, and I was just like, okay. I'm like, so you mean to tell me that Sammy is going to be fighting mid-card feuds until, he gets that win at the Royal Rumble this year? And I'm just like, oh, this is going to be a long rest of 2025 for Sammy. I was just like, we could have did something interesting. Karrion should not have lost at SummerSlam. We talked about this during the review on Monday. You have more to do with Karrion winning than with Sammy winning. But now we are constantly stuck in this perpetual babyface, happy-go-lucky mid-card stuff for Sammy. And I'm like, and
I don't know if they're getting rid of Karrion Kross. There's contract stuff in the mix that they're talking about for sure. I'm sure there's money and other things involved that we have nothing to do. I do think this is a ripple effect of The Rock not feeding the face turn of the heel turn of John Cena. And now we're seeing it 6, 7, 8 months later of where are we going? What are we doing? Where did all these pieces fall into play? Because now now everyone's stuck in the mid card. Like, where do you pull people out? Like, what do you do? Sammy should be doing so much more than this. We're back with Sammy Solo. We're back. We're 5 years of Bloodline. We're back to this.
Well, and then the other thing that just doesn't help be there is like, listen, we ripped that cage match apart at SummerSlam when we reviewed it. Like, it was not good. But also, Solo is your United States champion. So if this is what we're going to feud for Clash in Paris, and I was just like, okay, so then Jacob Fatu doesn't exist anymore. Jimmy doesn't exist for now. Like, what's happening? Like, we just kind of threw the booking book out the window. And I hate this because TNA right now is in the midst of it. And we tore TNA apart this past Friday with their episode. I was just like, the booking and writing kind of just went out the window post, the last Big Four pay-per-view. And it seems like everyone forgot how to write feuds and stories between pay-per-views. Like WWE is kind of is a mess right now. In the same vein as what we said during TNA, I was just like, let's just get through Clash in Paris and hopefully they get their shit together, so to speak, because this is wild.
I don't know what WWE is doing right now. I'm in such a weird spot. It's almost depressing to watch right now.
It really is. And then we have Andrew over here who is just in heaven watching independent wrestling all the time.
Oh yeah, because it's fun. And
They're
just different.
Somebody's got to sit through and watch through this slodge, and it just happens to be us.
Hey, I get it.
We're in that cycle, yeah.
I think their TKO is going to run the same way old Hollywood does things now, right? Where it's sort of, we're not going to take a risk on anybody new ever. We're going to give you the same 5 flavors over and over and over again, and every now and then change up who does what. And we're going to let that ride as long as we can because we're a $1 billion company, billions of dollars. So that's kind of the rest of the
TKO.
Yeah.
TKO.
And these folks don't care. They're still selling out arenas. They're still playing on the nostalgia of what the brand they have. It's not sustainable. Eventually it's going to turn and folks are going to go, oh, you watch that? Gross. It's going to shift away if they're not careful. It's already kind of happening to folks like us.
So Sammy ends up beating Solo. This was a non-title match. I would not be surprised if Sammy challenges for the United States Championship, which I was like, you don't need to, Sammy, but whatever. So we move on, though. One of my brighter spots is SmackDown because we're going to talk about this. So backstage, it is Alexa Bliss's birthday. So Charlotte Flair says that she has a birthday present that she's going to give her when they go to the ring later. So it's like, okay, we're going to talk about this. So we, again, 2 segments because it's 2 hours SmackDown now back again. So we got to put stuff together. So the Wyatt Six, are talking about SummerSlam and how they still have many lessons to teach. I was like, here for it. We got the Street Profits watching this backstage promo and they're just like, all right. I don't know whether it was Creative's choice or if it's Angelo and Montez's choice, but I was just like, they are a team that I still take seriously across everything. But then again, I take all the SmackDown tag teams seriously, minus the MFTs in SmackDown because they all have been shown to be, actual competent individuals. So then DIY comes in. They still got beef with the Profits apparently because they blamed the Profits for Candice LeRae, who showed a gnarly looking bruise, which was so gross. I was like, Candice, you are MVP of that ladder match, girl. You are MVP because we thought you died. So I also love that BFAB checked everybody in DIY, including Candice. It's like, okay, first of all, you did not have to get involved in the match. That's your fault. Number 2, it was your husband and your husband's homeboy who are the ones that tipped that ladder over. So why are you getting mad at the Profits? Which was great. So they begin to argue. Nick Aldis just pops in to quell the arguing. And DIY and Street Profits will be fighting each other next week on SmackDown. And I was like, baller! More good tag team action. And hey, you can still have tag teams feud that doesn't revolve around the championships. Go figure! Still looking at you, Raw. This is going to be fun.
They have LWO fighting the Mexican tag team of the week every week.
And that's also, LWO fighting every other Latino team that we got, or, the bootleg version, if you will, with these Grande Americanos running around. So whoever's in charge of booking and writing for the tag team division, I need them to help out Raw and give some pointers because, it's not even funny anymore. We joke all the time about the difference between the SmackDown and the Raw tag teams, but now it's just sad.
Like we were kind of saying earlier, it's just a matter of who's there and who got drafted and who moved where and what the network wanted and who they wanted over here and there and injuries and everything else that gets pulled into it. I would not be surprised in the draft if they shake up all this stuff because they have to know that they're overloaded on the SmackDown side. I do keep reading that there's a lot of folks just not interested in the Wyatt Six, and I'm like, that just does not compute in my head after watching the responses they get. There's people on the internet who are like, I don't like it. I'm like, okay, well,
it's the internet wrestling community. No offense, we're part of it. We're here. We're doing a podcast for it, but the internet wrestling community, they're never happy about anything.
They're flippant.
No, and half of them are missing a chromosome, so I get it. But I just don't understand the way that they treat some of these, I don't know. It's just they just want a reason to rally the wrong direction.
We'll see. Should be a banger next week, regardless. It should be fun. I don't care. This was camp. I love this segment, and this was great. Again, you still get Charlotte kind of being a turd, but like in a lovable way, which this is what we need from Charlotte. So we get a whole birthday party celebration. You know, Charlotte gets a cake. I love that it says, congratulations, Charlotte, in big lettering, and Alexa, P.S., happy birthday.
This is the way to make Charlotte face. She's a heel trying to be nice, and I think that's funny. The
tendencies are still there, but it's endearing, and we love it. This is what character development looks like. Dynamics is what I've been talking about. Yep. You can still have those heel tendencies, but Charlotte is trying, and she's visibly trying. And again, when you are probably having a good time with what you're working with, you're going to enjoy it better. So,
and when we talked about this too, she's the nicest, kindest person in the real world, but only works as a heel in kayfabe. But to make her that sort of, I'm a heel, I'm just trying to be nice. I'm being nice, right? And every now and then she gets it right. Like, that was cute. Good job. I think
that's one of the things with the what was it called, the Netflix documentary? They said that like humanizes it humanizes the shit out of Charlotte Flair. Like, you see Ashley, not Charlotte.
Which, you know, and we've been saying this forever. I feel like, and at this point, I don't even blame Charlotte. I blame WWE and creative because, you know, they wanted to run that she's Ric Flair's daughter, so she already has that prestige. They didn't allow any of Ashley to come through to the character of Charlotte Flair.
Yeah,
so,
for like 15 years.
We kind of saw it during Black and Gold NXT. And then when she got to main roster, again, because, you know, for some reason, development in NXT, Vince would not let it be translated over to main roster.
When was her? I'll try and find this. When was her debut here?
That is a good question.
Gotta be. Anyway, keep going.
So I'll continue with the segment while Professor's looking this up. So we get the birthday cake. We love it. Charlotte gifts Alexa Bliss a, the doll with the We're Not Friends accessory shirt, which is cute. But we also bring back a callback to last time Alexa and Charlotte were feuding, because we get Charlie the doll as well. So we get a, Charlotte Flair version of the Lily doll, which is fantastic. Chelsea Green comes out. Love Chelsea Green and her outfits and just her personality. And like, she's my MVP right now because she is just doing whatever she wants and what's given to her. She's upset that we're celebrating Alexa and Charlotte, as she should be celebrated as the only Canadian in this ring right now.
Charlotte made her debut NXT 2012, May 2012.
Damn.
But was doing a lot of WCW spots way back in the day.
Yeah, so 2012, oh, absolutely.
Totally different.
Baby Charlotte Flair right there is crazy. But
yeah, that's tough.
So Charlotte has another birthday present for Alexa, and it's going to be Charlotte taking on Chelsea Green one-on-one. Chelsea's like, no. Nick Aldis comes out, has another birthday present for Alexa Bliss in the form of a brand new referee to the referee squad in WWE. I was like, okay, this was kind of cool and funny and camp of introducing a new ref to the audience like this. He has a whole like present bow tie on and everything. I was like, this segment was probably one of my favorite things of SmackDown, not even gonna lie. I was just like, this is how we do some good storytelling and writing and fun. That doesn't overstay its welcome, and it leads into Charlotte and Chelsea's match later on in a little bit, too. Also, I love the ending when we get to the match itself. I was just like, I'm mad that we wasted a cake, but you know what?
They didn't waste that cake. They took that shit backstage. There's plenty of simps backstage that ate that cake, had no problem with it.
For reals, but this was a really fun segment, and I need more of these, especially with Alexa and Charlotte being a team and champs and everything. This was great. This is how you're going to get Charlotte more over as the face that you want, which we love. Good stuff, SmackDown. I'm proud of you for this one. Then we immediately took it back to why I have problems with SmackDown. So Carmelo Hayes is backstage. He's going to Nick Aldis because he wants a shot at the United States Championship. I was like, yes. Go, Carmelo. We're getting you back on TV. Miz comes in to intercept. Miz informs Melo that, Melo's like, bro, where have you been? Like, I don't know what happened for the last couple of weeks. You just, like, left me on red. Like, what's tea? And Miz is like, hey, I had obligations. I was filming American Gladiators. He didn't really say that, but that's what we knew what was up. So But he got a tag team match for him and Melo next week. And I was like, no, Miz, I want singles push Carmelo at this point. When we talk about the biggest drop the ball right now in 2025, WWE has dropped Melo so hard. And I'm just like, this is not okay with me.
That's for the last year and a half, 2 years even, right?
It's like
they
why
haven't
did we
known
pull him up to main
what to
roster
do.
and this is how we're using him? Like, what?
They did the seven match stint with Andrade, nailed it. That was a blast. He had a little bit of an LA Knight thing going there. Then they had a Carmelo's going to fight everyone and lose or almost win thing going, which was fun. And then they just kind of stopped, and we've hardly seen him.
I don't know.
Sucks. It
really is. And I was just like, I don't want Melo, and like Miz and Melo was a fun idea like when we got it, but then with Miz being gone and then Melo stopped appearing on our TV screen, I was like, I don't care about this no more. Push Melo. SmackDown, I don't know what we're doing with Carmelo Hayes. Like, again, #1 overall draft pick, even though the draft pick doesn't matter here in WWE, to be quite honest. But at the same time, I'm just like,
hopefully this is real.
I'm like looking at his other counterpart, Braun Breaker, who is actually now getting a push and everything. I was like, why can't we do the same? Is it because he's black at WWE? Is that what the problem is? Is it because Melo is melanated? Hunter out here not beating
Yes, probably yes.
Potential good news is Cobb is cleared to return.
God.
I'm seeing reports that he's cleared for an in-ring return. They're just waiting for the time to do it.
I'm gonna be so for real. I know he was on Raw, but I would love Ilya to come over to SmackDown because Melo and Ilya's feud on NXT was actually really baller, and that would give him something to do. And I don't care if Melo would lose there because we know Ilya's fucking crazy, and we love him for it.
That could be great. Yeah.
Ilya's another one. I hope they don't screw him up. I'm like, you screw up Ilya Dragunov, we gonna fight. Like, I'm gonna fight you, WWE, metaphorically speaking. Like, don't mess this up. And again, we gave Vince so much crap about, messing up the NXT folks when they came over to main roster. And I'm like, Hunter, you are also kind of doing the same thing right now. All the hard work Shawn Michaels is putting in down there in NXT is you're wasting talent. Anyways, moving on. This ending sequence was great. The match was a lot of fun. Chelsea going into the cake was amazing. Charlotte beats Chelsea. Nothing more to say. This plus the birthday party segment, my favorite thing is SmackDown this week, including match, because I actually really enjoyed this match too. Charlotte's good. Chelsea, I love you, girl. And also, shout out to not caring about being vocal about how people are being treated and things like that and calling out other people's bullshit on the internet. Y'all need to stop bullying Chelsea Green, because just because she believes in accountability, that means you're allergic to it, and stop being a hater.
Yeah, fuck y'all.
Be like, it's 2025. We cannot be allergic to accountability in all spaces now. Like, come on, now. Okay, I don't trust SmackDown to do good with this, but I will say I was intrigued because we get a backstage interview with Jade. Well, first it starts out with the interview with Tiffy. After retaining her championship at SummerSlam, Jade comes in to interrupt. She's just like, it's like, all right, like, I'm gonna still come after you for this title at some point. I was just like, but it is what it is. So I was like, okay, so we might potentially return to this at some point. But then Jade is approached by Julia and Kiana James. Kiana James offers Jade a business card, potentially having a working relationship with her and Julia. And I was like, you know what? I'd be kind of down for this. Jade takes the card, looks at it, and is like, okay. And then gives it to Michin. And I was like, ooh, Michin and Julia? I was like, yes, Asian Dollhouse, let's go. Because they had a faction in Japan and early days of TNA called the Dollhouse with everybody. So I was like, ooh, give me the WWE version of the Dollhouse with Michin and Julia and Kiana. That'd be so good. Don't trust WWE to execute it well, but color me intrigued with this whole backstage segment.
Yeah, nothing to add. I agree with everything. Yeah, I think that's fun. Warren Michin, haven't seen her a lot. I got really sad initially because I was like, we're going right back to Jay Tiffany. Like, okay, you have so many other women. Get them in the ranks. Let's go. But again, that draft, it'll be very interesting to see, which I guess is Monday. No, it can't be Monday. It's got to be next Friday, isn't it?
We'll see what happens. I don't know, because we keep getting reports that the draft is not happening and then it's happening. I was like, okay, whatever. So we'll see what happens.
Sure.
But color me intrigued. Not only did the last 6 months we waste with John Cena, we wasted the last couple of months with R-Truth as well. I was like, you let him go. The fans actually use their platform for good for once in a few times. That
why did we get Ron Killings angry? I'm gonna wreck havoc, and now it's
not wrecking havoc.
John Cena's my hero. Yeah, this makes no sense. Kind of does this disservice to all of them, and they think we're stupid. Yeah.
WWE once again playing in my face, and I'm not taking the bait, nor have I ever took the bait. But you know what? I was just like, I'm letting it go because I got other fish to fry so to speak, than to be mad at this scripted television program we watch on a weekly basis. But how do I put this nicely? Though us wrestling fans with some form of intelligence, you cannot play in our faces. But, you know, the newer fans, the uneducated folks, and the shills and the tribalists, the WWE only tribalists, will eat this up and think this is the greatest thing and come after us for critiquing anything. And all I have to say is that is like, bless you hot. Moving on. Well, that's the nice way of putting it. Spicy Mikey is just like, fuck you, fuck your bullshit, fuck you, all up and down, left, right, center. This is like, you're a hater, yo mad, and you probably still live in your mother's basement, you sweaty neckbeards. Moving on. Tag team match it is what it was. We got a DQ. Logan and John Cena fight to the back. Cool. I did like the spot watching Drew kick Cody's face through the bottom of the desk, which was a cool shot. And I'm like, yes, I am here for Drew and Cody feuding for this title. Like, because that's the other thing that we need to. With Cena probably facing Lesnar at some point, we need to figure out somebody for Cody to feud with. And obviously, Randy Orton is not long gone, so apparently
this could be the way to write Cody off TV for a little bit too, because you know he's got to film Street Fighter.
I like this write-off better than what the one we had on.
Where's Randy? Randy's gone?
Well, I thought we would get Randy and Cody at some point. I'm pretty sure that might be down the line, but it seems that right now we're going to get Drew and Cody, which I'm okay with because I feel like Drew is also another person that deserves something.
Yeah, I was okay with it. A solid match. It was fine. It's really interesting to Cena and Cody touch fingers like 5 times and never make a tag, which is just adorable. I don't mind Logan Paul fighting Cena in the back, but we don't really see what the fight was in the back. We just see that they took the fight to the back. Granted, we had this cool Claymore moment, so that was fine. This was okay. I'm not saying underwhelming because they're all amazing and it was actually a fun match. It just left me with question mark of where are we going? What are we doing? What do you think we're watching or paying attention to? Like this doesn't make any sense coming out of SummerSlam, coming into this to me. Like, why? What do we get from this other than showing Canada we brought superstars to Montreal? Like, okay,
fine.
I am interested in McIntyre Cody. I think that's fun. We're doing Cena Paul and McIntyre Cody in Paris, I guess.
And then of course we also have Naomi and Stephanie, which is fine.
Fine.
Again, like I said, and I'm pretty sure WWE doesn't even know how they want the Survivor Series to play out. So because initially we were told we weren't getting War Games, and then they backpedaled and we're getting War Games at Survivor Series. I'm gonna be so for real. I could potentially see that the men has a argument for War Games, but as of right now, unless something crazily shifts, like I hope these rumors are true. I heard that WWE is not looking into doing a women's War Games, which I was just like, don't do this to me.
They should do like a SmackDown versus Raw War Games, you know, something basic. That's what Survivor Series used to be, was like SmackDown versus Raw, like back in the day, you know, like that bragging rights, like do like, you know, like Julia and she like leads her team versus like Stephanie Vicker and her team or some shit like that.
Listen, if Julia and Stephanie end up being captains for Raw and SmackDown, and then they get either recruit or we get qualifier matches, like I'm here for that War Games. Also, Io needs to be on the Raw side because for that way she can be like Oscar the Grouch and jump with trash can yet again, because that is a spot I never get tired.
I missed the trash can spot. I'm surprised they haven't gone back to that way.
Like, love it. But this is how SmackDown goes off the air, and that was WWE this week. Overall, we were kind of in the phases of everything. We are in a mess of a bill to Clash in Paris, which is in a matter of 3 weeks. No, 2 weeks at this point, right? No, 3 weeks. So Clash in Paris is in 3 weeks. Yeah, everything is, I don't know why, but all the promotions are like, let's finish summer off with a bang. And they decided to throw all their pay-per-view at the end of summer. Because not only do we have Clash in Paris in 3 weeks, Forbidden Door for AEW is in 2, NXT's Heat Wave is in 2. The G1 for New Japan is officially over this week, and we'll be reviewing it next Monday. So lots of things in the pipelines. It's crazy. So speaking of which, that wraps up our week here at BC WrestlePod. But let's take a preview of what this new week of wrestling includes. And I actually formatted it to make it look nice. So this is what you can expect this week for BC WrestlePod. We actually do take days off, according to some folks who say we don't. But even then, we do crazy stuff.
We don't. We're here every day.
Almost every day.
We live, breathe, and go wrestling.
For reals, which is crazy. But this week, On Tuesday, we have our All review. So AEW this week has been very interesting as we are gearing up for Forbidden Door in 2 weeks, which is going to be a lot of fun. Wednesday, we have our NXT and CMLL reviews at 5:30 and 8 p.m. Pacific, respectively. On Friday, we are doing the Go Home review show for TNA, and we will be making our predictions for TNA Emergence, which is the next pay-per-view for TNA. Then on Saturday, I am virtually being kidnapped as Andrew and his good friend Sam are introducing me to the world of Insane Clown Posse, as the three of us will be partaking in night 1 of GCW and JCW's 2-day war. So it's going to be nuts. And then we wrap things up next Sunday with our WWE review early on in the day. And then Sam and Andrew will once again virtually kidnap me, as all three of us will be watching the 2-day war night 2. So lots of good things happening. But that's going to be it for us here. The three of us are going to go. We got to get up on out of here. So from all of us here at Dual Dynasty, as well as the rest of the BC Wrestle Pod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay Bi-Conic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you later, but until the next review, this is adios and sayonara. And this time I remembered, Minnie, remind the folks, whether it be rain or sunshine, good or bad, ups and downs, why do we review wrestling here at BC Wrestle Pod? I have missed that so dearly. But yes, so until Tuesday, we'll see you later. But until then,
thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's going to happen next time? Well, you're going to have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.